What's up, future millionaires? I'm Mike the Investor, and today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the cryptocurrency called Tezos. Now, what we're going to be covering is the price chart. What is Tezos? What is the native currency? What are some of the use cases of the ecosystem? Some of the key partnerships that's happened for the ecosystem, as well as the latest news that came out yesterday regarding a $27 million deal per year. Now, if you're looking for a specific section in this video, go ahead and check out the timestamps in the description below. Now, before we actually dive into today's content, I want to take a brief second to talk to you about one of the partners on the channel, which is Unstoppable Domains, one of the #1 places to go if you're looking to purchase a blockchain domain, and they start as low as $5. And the beautiful thing about this, there are no renewal fees, so you only have to buy it once, and you can actually mint them for free because they are partnered with Polygon. So besides using these domains for websites and payment addresses, they can also be used for passwordless logins, using Web 2 and Web 3 apps, and much more. So if you want to check out Unstoppable Domains for yourself, click the link in the description below and you'll be on your way. But now that we got the intro out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the price chart of the native cryptocurrency of Tezos right after this. Welcome back to the channel, crypto investors. We are now on CoinGecko, and we have seen a nice pump in the cryptocurrency market as a whole over the past day. As you can see, we are right under 2 trillion. We are about 3 billion away at 1.997, and you can see at the time of this video we are up 9.4%. And so as we look at Tezos here, the current rank is 43, and some people pronounce this as Tezos or Tezos, just depending on how you want to do it. As we look at the market cap here, 3.5 billion. As we can see, for the circulating supply, 875 million. Now the total supply here, there is no max supply. Tezos is a inflationary token where they add about 5.5%, to the circulating supply each year. Now, if we briefly just go down and kind of look at the price chart here, we can see the all-time high was last year in October. It hit around $9. Now, if we just look at the 1-year chart, you can see that it's built some really nice support. Yes, it has jumped up and then jumped down. However, it has consolidated quite nicely in this range here. Now, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research before investing. But I mainly just kind of wanted to show you the basic stats of Tezos, the total supply here, and then also just kind of show you what this baby is kind of doing. If you look at the 1 year, it's only up about 36%, down 12% on the month, up 20% on the 14-day, 32% on the 7-day, and then up 5.4% on the 24 hours. And so this is Tezos here. It doesn't have a huge hype around the project, even though it's been here for quite some time, but it has started gaining momentum because of some of the partnerships and things that it's been able to do here recently, which now takes us into what is Tezos? Well, in simplest terms, Tezos is a proof of stake layer 2 programmable smart contract blockchain that has the ability to upgrade itself without forking, which is one thing that truly sets it apart from other blockchains. But let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of literature of what Tezos is. Let's check it out. So here we have the basics of what is Tezos, and it says that Tezos is an open source platform for assets and applications that can evolve by upgrading itself. Now it says that stakeholders govern upgrades to the core protocol, including upgrades to the amendment process itself. And we're going to look at a little bit closer on what this actually means, because self-amendment and the smart contracts formal verification are the two main things that really make Tezos very unique. And so just by looking at the self-amendment, it says self-amendment allows Tezos to upgrade itself without having to split, also meaning fork, the network into 2 different blockchains, which is why you have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, so forth and so on. And it says this is important as a suggestion or expectation of a fork can divide the community, which we see with Bitcoin, alter stakeholder incentives, and disrupt the network effects that are formed over time. Now, because of the self-amendment, coordination and execution, costs for protocol upgrades are reduced and future innovations can be seamlessly implemented. So this is why this is so huge, because it can truly upgrade itself and the dApps and all of that good stuff without having to fork the network, which does come at a cost sometimes for security. Now, if we look at the smart contracts and formal verification, I'm just going to move down here just in case you guys wanted to pause the screen and read this for yourself, but I just want to highlight this section. Tezos facilitates formal verification, which is a technique used to improve security by mathematically providing properties about programs such as smart contracts. Now, this technique, if used properly, can avoid costly bugs and the continuous debates that follow. Now, smart contracts is their language called 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏, and so this is what's special to Tezos, that their smart contracts and the entire blockchain can upgrade itself and come to conclusions on the blockchain without having to fork anything, without having to split the network. And this is huge. And so they're also super energy efficient as well. I'm going to briefly show you a picture right here. And so just by looking at the estimated annual energy consumption with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tezos, you can see how much more efficient Tezos is. Now, of course, they're going to be a lot more efficient because it is a proof of stake platform, but just to show you those numbers, it is truly inefficient itself. All right, so now that we understand what is Tezos, let me give you a brief history of Tezos before we kind of look at what is the cryptocurrency and just a brief recap on what we just covered. Now, back in 2014, there is a married couple called Arthur and Caitlin Brittman. They are the founders of the Tezos blockchain. They created a light paper as well as the original white paper for Tezos in 2014. Now, they actually had a ICO, which is an initial coin offering to raise money for the project in 2017, and it actually was the highest of the time, which was around 232 million, until Filecoin came along, which was, I believe, 257 million around there. So Filecoin technically now has the highest ICO, but at the time it was Tezos. Now, with that being said, their mainnet launched in 2018, and then the rest was history. And now here we are today with more and more improvements with Tezos. And so XTZ, which is the native currency, also known as Tez, is the native currency that powers the ecosystem of the Tezos blockchain. So it's used for everything: payments, staking, smart contracts, the whole 9 yards is what Tezos is used for. But let's look at a couple quick facts just to make things in simplest terms on what is Tezos, also what is the native currency XTZ, also known as Tez. Now, talking about Tezos, we're not going to read all of this here. I just want to highlight these bullet points. Always remember, Tezos is a blockchain. Tezos is also open source. Anyone can build on Tezos because it is a programmable blockchain. Tezos is decentralized blockchain network. Tezos is different from Tez, which is XTZ. And then you have Tez, also known as XTZ, is the cryptocurrency native to Tezos. And for those that actually care, this is why they made this distinguish. Because when you're talking about actual cryptocurrency, let's say I was going to say, hey, I want to send you some Tezos. The proper term from the community is to say Tez, which is TEZ. Instead of you saying, hey, I'm going to send you some XTZ, which you technically can say that, but typically they say this will be used for specific reasons, such as situations involving accounting systems, exchange rates with other currencies. All right, so now that we know what Tezos is, what the native currency is, let's go ahead and dive into a few stats, and also we can kind of see the tokenomics as well of Tezos, and then we're going to dive into some key partnerships, and then we will look at the latest news surrounding Tezos. Let's check it out. And so as we look at some protocol stats, we can see over 44 million total contract calls, and if you just look starting from March, it has been nothing but positive growth on the Tezos ecosystem. Now, moving on down to the Tezos supply, here's the total supply currently. But one thing I want to show you, look at the total amount that is staked out of this circulating supply. 876 million and 670 million is staked. So 74% of the supply is staked. So this shows you how people believe in Tezos, and it also has one of the higher stakings at around 5 to 6% that has been there for some time. And so then you have the inactive staking, of course, which is not even a full percent. So we can see most of it is being staked, which is definitely a positive for the project, and which also helps the price stay more stable as well. Now, these gives you the accounts and transactions. Look at the total funded accounts, 1.9 million, almost 2 million funded accounts for Tezos. And look at the built players here on Tezos. You got Red Bull, McLaren, one of, and we have Ubisoft, which is one of the biggest gaming companies in the world today. Now, let's go ahead and go over to some of the ecosystem, breaking it down here. You can see they have, of course, their block explorers, baking tools, which is basically another term for validators. You have your community, DeFi, which is 14 different apps, developer tools, and you can see NFTs. There are 19, which is the largest part of the ecosystem currently. You have gaming, digital ID, and then of course these stable coins that operate on the blockchain. Now, the last thing I want to show you about Tezos ecosystem will be their gaming metaverse sector, which is the build, play, and collect. As we move down, you can see you have the Explore NFT marketplaces. You have Discover NFT Power Entertainment, which is the huge one of partnership that they have. You have the evolution of gaming as well. And then of course you have Welcome to the Future of Blockchain, where you can build and learn more about the Tezos ecosystem. And so now we kind of have a brief understanding, or a better understanding, on what Tezos is. So now the last couple things we're going to dive into is just some key partnerships that's happened, as well as the latest news regarding that 27 million per year deal. Let's check it out. So the first key partnership I want to talk about is the Ubisoft and Tezos deal, which I think is huge. Came out around December 7th, just a couple months ago. Ubisoft becomes the first major gaming company to launch in-game NFTs. And let's go ahead and move down. I got a couple parts highlighted just so we can kind of see what is going on with this. And so Ubisoft was the first major video game publisher to take an interest in blockchain space, now experimenting with crypto game prototypes and supporting startups over the last few years. But now the gaming giant will actually implement NFTs within one of his major franchises in a new initiative that runs on Tezos. But it gets better. Now, for those of you that may be a little unfamiliar who Ubisoft is, they are behind Assassin's Creed as well as Just Dance and other games. Now, Ubisoft course a platform that lets players earn, purchase in-game items that are tokenized as NFTs will be on the Tezos blockchain. Now, also it says course will launch first in the PC version of Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is the latest online game and long-running tactical shooter series. So this is a huge partnership for Tezos, bringing a lot of adoption and awareness to this project. The next thing I want to talk about here briefly, which will be Gap launches gamified collectible NFTs on Tezos. This came out this year, January 12th. I'm not going to go all the way into this, but I just wanted to highlight it, which I think is huge because we know Gap is a long-term brand. As we look at the educational partnership, which came out the following day, January 13th, this is big as well in my opinion. The 8-month-long collaboration will offer educational programs to introduce people around the world to Tezos and help them start their Web3 journey, which we know is the future. I think that is huge. And now we get to the latest news that I want to touch on, which Tezos scores a 27 million deal with Man United. Baby Doge backs Hoffenheim. And so let's go ahead and move down. You can see 23 hours ago. This is very fresh news. And if you are in the Patreon, you are already aware of this. I already put this out to you guys, but now we can actually talk about it a little bit more in depth. And so according to this Cointelegraph article, it says Manchester United, one of the world's most popular soccer or football teams, is reportedly set to announce a multi-year training kit sponsorship by proof-of-stake blockchain platform Tezos. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. Now, this deal is apparently in excess of $27 million per year, allowing Tezos to place his logo on the team's uniform, and Manchester United has reportedly finalized filming promotional material ahead of the official announcement, which would definitely bring more awareness to Tezos. Now, this other sentence here, check this out. The speculation that partnerships may involve collaboration in technology space such as metaverse or Web3 projects. Now, Tezos put out some news where they have a Web3 of a lot of prestige names coming together on the Tezos blockchain February 8th this year, so I can definitely see that happening. And just to highlight the Red Bull and McLaren partnership, this was back in May 2021. This was Red Bull Racing announced as the official blockchain partner of Tezos, and then you have McLaren Racing a month later saw Tezos as its official technical partner in a multi-year deal across its Formula One and esports teams, and the team's networks was used in the launch of McLaren's NFT collection in October of 2021. So you can see that they have a lot of big names coming onto the blockchain, building inside of the ecosystem, launching NFTs, launching games such as Ubisoft, one of the largest gaming companies in the world. And so you can see this is why Tezos is starting to get a little bit more noise around it, because of the big names that are coming into the ecosystem. Alright, so we covered a lot in this video. We looked at the price chart, we looked at what is Tezos, what's the native cryptocurrency, what are some use cases, who's building on Tezos, some key partnerships, and then we just looked at the latest news for Tezos. And so definitely consider checking out the timestamps if you miss any of those sections, and if you gain some value from this video, most importantly, definitely smash the like button. It definitely helps out the channel, but it also lets me know you appreciate the content as well. But that is all I got for you. Remember to stay inspired, stay motivated, always invest in yourself, and I'm out.